Welcome to our First Institute channel. Give us a like and tell us what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification icon so you never miss a beat with what's happening on our campus. Enjoy the video.
Hi, my name is Willis-Lorenz, and I'm an instructor in the Recording Arts and Show Production program here at First Institute. Today we're going to be talking about sound effects for beginners and how you can record your own sounds for your own video games and movies. So we have a clip ready for you today, and it's two football players tackling each other. Let's take a look. That looked like it hurt, but we can make it sound like it hurts even more. Let's break down the sounds in this clip. When we design sound effects, we typically split them into low, mid, and high frequency layers. A low frequency layer would be the sound that creates that bottom end, the muffled or heavy bassy tone of the sound. A mid frequency layer is going to give you that crunch and that raw impact. That's where most of the meat of your sound is going to be, and it's also where you typically add a little bit more detail than in the low frequency. The high frequency is going to give you that slap and sting to our sound. You could think of this as like the breaking of a bone, or as the initial clatter of the two helmets striking each other. The most fun part of sound design to me is going out hunting for the things that you're going to use to make those sounds, also known as props. For our low frequency props, I'm thinking it's got to be something heavy. Honestly, it could be a lot of things. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bunch of sandbags, I think, put them in a blanket, drop them on the floor, and call it a day. But you could also try things like hitting a kick drum, or finding a large object and hitting it with something. Basically anything that gives you that heavy, low thud. So now let's think about our mid layer. What kind of props can we use for that? If we think about what is actually happening in this scene, there are a bunch of pieces of plastic armor smashing against each other. So you could look for old toys, maybe a motorcycle helmet, anything that's thick and heavy and plastic. Now for the high frequency layer, what kind of props are we going to use for that? Look for things that give you that snap, that crisp impact. Maybe you could take a wet cloth and slap it on some glass. Maybe you could take a carrot and snap it, or a celery stick and snap it. That's a classic prop for sound design. Just go out there, get creative, have some fun. I'm going to go out there too, find some props, and we'll meet back here. Here we go, got my props. Let's take a look at what I found. Starting off with the low frequencies, I can't show you that right now, but I think you're gonna like it. Now mid frequency layers, I had to get a bunch of props for that one. So started off with bicycle helmet, nice heavy thick plastic sound. Remember that's what we were looking for with those mid frequency layers. That'll do nicely. I also have this caster that you can find from a hardware store. This makes a nice thick chunky metal sound, it kind of rattles around a little bit. I have the toy car here, or I guess it's the toy ATV, and this gives you a lot of that intricate plastic sound. There's a little bit of whirring in there too. It makes a lot of just racket, so this is gonna sound great. Now, I want these things to be all mangled together and kind of tumbling over each other, so I found a milk crate that I'm gonna put them all in for when I'm actually recording the sound to just kind of tumble them like a big old prop salad. So let's throw them in there. For the high layer, I went a little bit unconventional. Typically for a bone snap, you might think of like celery sticks or a carrot snapping in half. But I saw these noodles, this cup of noodles, and I thought, well, wouldn't it sound good if we just cracked the noodles in half because they're all dry and crispy? So let's get recording. Now what am I using to record? Well, my microphone is a Rode NTG4 that is feeding into a Mix Pre 3 that I connected to the computer, and it's actually acting as my interface. And the computer I'm using is an Apple iMac, and I am running Pro Tools on it. That's my setup right now, but all you really need is a microphone, an interface, and a computer with a DAW like Pro Tools, Logic, or Audacity. You don't need a lot of money to be a sound designer. All right, so I'm gonna get my session ready to record these sounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 3 new tracks. I am using a mono microphone, so I just need 3 mono audio tracks. And I am going to name them high, mid, and low. I'm going to be doing multiple recordings of each of these sounds just so I can pick the best one. So I'm going to make sure my Pro Tools session is set up to record multiple playlists on loop record. So I'll go here, automatically create new playlists when loop recording. So the cool thing about Pro Tools is that I can actually import the video so I can record the sounds with the video playing back. I can do that in Logic too. So let's import that video. All right, let's play with some toys. I'm gonna record the mid layer first. Gonna record on the mid track. Let's set our record region. And now it's gonna loop record this little segment of time for the video. So I'm just gonna keep it recording and have some fun, and then we'll go in later and find the best take. Loop record, there we go. All right, I think one of those would be good. So let's move on to our high frequency sound. Remember, that's going to be our noodles. So this is a messy process, but it's all going to be worth it. Let's record. I'm going to change my record arm to my high frequency layer. Let's hit record. Ooh, that snap sounded good. Let's do another one of those. All right, I'm gonna go wash my hands and we'll be right back. Now for the low frequency layer, we're using some sandbags. So I'm gonna put these in a big blanket, drop them on the floor, and we're gonna get that real heavy, low impact thud that we're looking for. All right, so let's go record it. All right, so let's start to pick our takes. I'm gonna start with the low frequencies. Okay, so let's listen to the top one first. It's kind of distant. There is nothing on this take, so let's go down. Not that, doesn't have that thud we're looking for. Where's the thud? Nope. This is why we do multiple takes, because you might not get it on the first try. Oh, that one, I definitely hit the mic. And actually, that one was pretty good. It had some body to it. It was nice and clean, didn't clip, and I think that's what we're going to use. So I'm going to select that take, bring it up, and then just trim it down so we don't have any of that noise on the sides. Put a little fade here too. Let's see what we got. Okay, let's get this right when they hit each other. Boom, there we go. We see his head start to pull back there. Ooh, maybe a little bit later, actually. Sometimes when you move the heavy sound later, it actually makes it feel heavier. It's a weird psychological trick. Cool. All right, now you might be thinking that this isn't enough right now, and you're totally right. Let's add some more sounds in. So we're gonna go to our mid layer. Go ahead, solo that. I can take this off playlists. Okay, and let's hear what we got here. So take this take. It's actually pretty cool. Let's listen to a few other ones though. That one is a little too distinct. Doesn't have as much busyness in it that I'm looking for. Oh, that one's actually really good. You know what, now I gotta decide between take 3 and take 4 here. So let's listen to take 4 again. You know what I might do is I might actually combine takes 3 and takes 4. So I'm gonna just highlight this part of take 3, bring it up, and then let's see how that sounds. Okay, so then I'm just gonna clean this up, just delete the beginning here, and where do we want them to stop rattling? Okay, right about there would probably be a good spot. We'll just kind of fade it out as that last sound is happening. Fade this in. Let's check it. Cool. Do a little crossfade and consolidate. All right, so mid layer is looking good. Now let's go ahead and edit our high frequency layer. Okay, and let's look at our playlists. Cool, so we had a lot of cool stuff to work with here. Let's just listen through. Ooh, oh, that sounded painful. I think we're getting there. Ooh, that one hurt. Oh my God, they're all so good. Weak. Okay. So I think we're between 2 and 3 here. And then, you know what? I'm thinking 2. Let's do 2. So I'll bring that up. It's got that nice sharp pop that I like at the beginning. Let's wait for them to actually touch each other, though, before their bones start breaking, because that doesn't make any sense if they're not even touching each other. Okay, and we'll cut that. Great, we picked our takes, we lined it up with the video. It sounded real good, but we can make it sound even better with a little bit of EQ. So first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my high frequency layer and I'm gonna put a high pass filter on it. Okay, EQ 3/7 band, and I'm going to turn on my high pass filter, start looping this, and I'm just gonna dial it in. See, if I go too high, it gets really thin. Don't want that. Just don't want some of that crunching sound. Ooh, there we go. Cool. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. Hear how it still pops and crackles? That's what we want. All right, we got our high frequency layer sounding good. Now let's move on to our low frequency layer. So for this, we're just gonna put a low pass filter on it using our EQ 3/7 band. And that just lets the low frequencies pass. So that's exactly what we want. Still want some of that impact. Like if I go all the way down here, we get the low end, but it just sort of feels like a soft hit. You'll see as I go up higher, you get a little more of that impact. Playing with different slopes, but I think this is what we're gonna go with. Maybe a little higher. Cool. Now, last one we gotta do is our mid-frequency layer. Now this, we wanna have just the mid-frequencies, so we're gonna use a band pass filter for that. A lot of EQs don't have something called a band pass filter, so we're just gonna use a low pass filter and a high pass filter. Same thing. Okay, turn on my high pass and my low pass. Just gonna do 12 decibels per octave slope. And let's just dial it in. Don't want to go too high. Cool. So you can hear, if I turn off and on the EQ with this mid-frequency layer, that it doesn't really take away the good parts, it just shaves off the unnecessary high and low end. So let's listen to that real quick. This is with no EQ on the mids. And this is with EQ on the mids, with the band pass. So we still got that rattle. We lost some of the high end, but that's being taken up with our crunchy, crispy noodles, so we're gonna be good. All right, we're done. So let's check out how it sounds. That sounds really good. Nice job, guys. That's it for me. For more tips and tricks, check out F.I.R.S.T Institute at F.I.R.S.T.edu. We got plenty more stuff coming your way. My name's Dave Willis-Lorenz, signing off.
Want to keep up with the latest graduates and trends in the digital media industry? Subscribe now, and we'll see you on campus soon.